Another typology interview. We have Cherie. How's it going? Is that how you
It's
pronounce your
going
name, by the
great.
way?
It's Cherie.
Cherie. Okay. Where's that name from?
So it's French. So like French people will say like mon chéri,
Yeah, yeah,
a
right.
lot.
So
It's like a term of endearment, yeah.
that's how you pronounce it. Okay.
But I don't even pronounce it like the actual French pronunciation. Um, Cherie is like an
Right.
Americanized
Yeah.
version of Cherie. So,
Yeah. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about your history and typology? I know you're studying psychology now. What year are you in?
I am a sophomore.
Okay, second year. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a very old
So
sophomore.
okay. So what's your history in typology then?
Um, I discovered typology when I was like 7 or 8 years ago. Um, when I was still in middle school, I took like one of the online free personality tests, and then I just got super excited. The first time I took it, I got ENTJ, and I was really excited because I was like, yeah, I am the person that goes around and gets things done, and I'm a leader, and people follow me and whatever. And then I took it again and got ESTJ, and then was like freaking out because I didn't want to be a sensory savior.
Oh, really?
And so then I did like a whole, like I got in, like just fell down the rabbit hole of like studying cognitive functions and yeah, mostly that, and then became the like spokesperson for going around in all my friends groups and telling them, oh, well, you think you are this type, but you're probably not. You should study
Right.
cognitive functions, and then you will
So,
know your real type.
so what
um,
type did you get yourself as back then?
I thought I was an ENFP.
Okay, all right.
Classic upside down typing. Well, I get not completely upside down because I'm a
Well, I
jumper.
don't know your type yet.
Oh, right, I
You're
forgot you like to do that. Yeah, the figuring out what types are.
yeah. But so just your bashing of censor is stereotypical of a censor.
Yep, classic.
Also you were sort of relating your story, I was seeing double deciding there.
Yeah,
I suck, they suck, yeah,
yeah,
that sort of
yep.
thing. Yeah.
Oh yes,
Well,
I'm
that's
very
good
good
to
at
hear.
double deciding.
Okay.
I, I say that. That probably means I'm terrible at it, right?
No, well, it's not conclusive. We'll see, yeah. But it seems like you're doing it easily enough anyways.
Yeah.
It's something that is
Yep.
foreign to my mind. So then after you did that in high school, cognitive functions and all that,
Yeah.
did it just continue from there, or did it stagnate a bit, or
No, I mean, I just kind of like kept on and off studying it, just because ENFP never really felt like it fit,
Mm,
like just perfectly. Um and so like none of the types really seemed like they really fit. And so I just kind of like kept just like a constant studying and like trying to convince all my family. Um, and then how I discovered OP was back when like Dave made his Dave Superpowers videos in like, what was that, like 2011 or something? So I found
like the
those
first
videos
ones?
in like
Yeah.
2012 or 2013, and watched those, and then kind of like rediscovered him last year. So yeah, like last fall, um,
I see.
and started kind of watching a little bit of his videos, and then really like joined the Facebook group and stuff this summer. So
How long ago were you typed?
I was typed the first Friday of this month, so it's like two
Oh
weeks
wow,
ago.
so new, really new.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
what type did you get for yourself going into it?
What type did I think I was
Yeah,
after studying all the OP stuff?
right.
I was pretty sure I was on the FI-TE axis and on um the NISE axis.
I see.
Only because like going back to like as I began to like understand extroverted intuition better, like I was like, oh, it's pretty obvious I'm not savior extroverted intuition whatsoever, like not savior gather. So but I didn't want to like, so like I went back and like kind of like studied like or like would like go through the Facebook group and like see people who like talking about like bashing on like types and then getting typed that type and then like the little like freakouts that they had like publicly, you know, in the Facebook group or whatever. And I
Right.
didn't want to do that. So I was kind of like didn't really want to predict my type. But then like a day before I got my type, I like went back and watched my videos again and tried to like apply like Dave and Shan, like all of the OP stuff to my own videos and decided on SEFI, consume, sleep, blast, play.
Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. So you got yourself as a gatherer over organize.
Yes, and the reason I did that was because I like the demon N was like so apparent when I was like going back and watching my videos.
Right.
Um and so I was like, okay, well, I'm clearly a sensory savior, but I had kind of like put it in my mind that I was SENI. So I was like,
Right.
okay, it must be SE then.
Mm-hmm.
And also I kind of like didn't watch very much and then I was just like, oh, this is what it is for sure.
Right. So you basically just told me, but I can also see it that you're SI savior.
Yep.
Um, tell me a little bit about that demon intuition. Do you latch on to negative possibilities? Are those the ones that pop up for you? Fears?
Yeah, they are. Which is weird too because you go around like I went around for 6 years thinking that I was an ENFP. So I
Mhm.
thought that I was. So it's like whenever I did gather in something new that was positive, like on the very rare occasion when I did, it's like, oh, look at what I'm doing. It's so wonderful and great.
Mhm.
Look at me doing the anything. Um, but yeah, it's weird because I do like I've been trying to think about it more lately. Like last week I was really just like unpacking like feminine SI and like how like vastly different from masculine SI it is. But then like now kind of like I've been lately trying to thinking about like the demon NE. For me, it's really what it like in its most simplest form, like describing it, it's like I will refuse to do something because I'm like afraid of what will happen.
Right.
So I'm not like making all of the connections or I'm seeing too many connections and I'm not sure which one like is right. Because
Huh.
I research things, like I want to have all of the facts before I go into something because that way when I do see a pattern, I already have all the facts and it's like a quick connection. But if I don't have all of the SI and I'm just trying to look for like new stuff, um, then yeah, that's like very stressful for me. It's like I
Mhm.
don't do things without researching them like
So
extensively.
yeah, so that's the control, I guess, going into a new situation, being prepared for it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so like that's what I'm wondering when you do get into that new situation, or if you are surprised by the chaos.
Yeah.
Um, um, I guess that's scary for you. Um, but so is the fear because there's so many possibilities and you don't know which one will be, or is the fear more because you see the worst possibility and you're afraid that that'll happen?
It's not because I see the worst possibility. It's
Okay.
just because I'm I'm seeing too many. And also like part of the reason I was thinking that I was like an NI savior too is because I it's like I follow these tracks of like what could happen based on like what has happened, which is like such a SI thing, right? Um
It's also an I thing.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so I'm following this like track along of like this is what could possibly happen and then I can't see the end. And so because of that, I just won't get started on like the journey. So
I
if I
see.
can't see it from beginning to end, then I won't start it. Um, Whereas I think with NI, it's like you already see the end and you don't like it, and so you choose not to.
Yeah, or also like if you're NI dominant, you could see the end, and sort of figure out a way to get there, like the sensory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Like, especially if you got the TE, like a masculine TE, you know, like get your plan and then, you know, go.
Mhm.
Stereotypical MBTI, INTJ.
Right. Um, so what kind of thing, so as a lead SI, what kind of things, what's your IJ box?
Yeah. So I like have just recently like completely putting away my IJ box. So I'm in a very weird situation right now, actually. But for the last like 5 or 6 years, I've kind of been like managing this like miniature exotic farm for my family. And I had like so many plans, like specific like plans for like how I wanted like where I wanted my farm to go and like all this stuff. And
Organizing the sensory, I guess.
yeah, yes, totally, right? And
Right.
animals and all that. But didn't like take into account the fact that like one, I'm like not like the way that I was doing it was like very like tied up into like with my parents. So like if I ever wanted to make it like a thing on my own, it's like all of that past history of like their like capital, I guess, like or like funding, like startup funds or whatever. Like all of that is all like they had contributed to it. And so it wasn't going to be something that like I could ever really make my own without them still like being a part of it and wanting to like dictate it, if that makes sense.
Right.
And then also taking like I didn't really think about the fact that like I don't actually like, or it's not that I don't like, it's just that like I found something that worked and so I went with it, but it's not because I'm not really good at saying like what I like and what I don't like. I like
Really?
yeah, it's like I can say that I like something, but it's really I just like it because it works. And then if it doesn't work, then I don't like it, and I want to figure out how to like why it, you know, like if something works, then you should like it. That's kind of like how I
That's kind of how liking, okay.
yeah, that's how I like put value on something is if it works.
That's interesting.
And so like just this past summer, like I realized that like the farming thing, it is a very like routine thing, but it's also chaotic in the sense that like animals aren't predictable.
Right.
And so just like all these different like things that were coming up that I wasn't really preparing for, mostly just because I don't expend energy very um like I won't like do something unless I absolutely have to. But with farming, you have to do like a lot of stuff preemptively, which I wasn't doing.
I am getting the SINE axis. Like I am getting your NE. Like you're really diverging on, like we started on one subject and we're
Yes, I
going off on
know.
tangents. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
So
exactly.
right.
Well,
So
yeah,
I'm getting the
especially
NE.
yep. Um and so it was like um okay, yeah, here's the irritating thing about feminine SI. So if somebody cuts in with something and you're on a train of thought, um then you get like then you have new ideas and then you're like, where was
Oh,
I? So I think what I was trying to say is basically just that like the farming thing wasn't like something that I felt like was really working for me. And also at the time, like thinking that I was feeling like I was an ENFP trying to farm, and I was like, this is never going to work out because I'm not naturally good at this. Um, which again, that's like any not seeing the connections, right? Because everyone in my life was like, yeah, Cherie, you are so great at this. This is like, you know,
right.
like business in general. Like I'm very good at selling things. I'm a great salesperson. And so they're like, this is like something that you're really great at, like, you know. And I was just like, it's not gonna work. So I'm just not gonna do it. But I think ultimately that was a good decision because that's not I do like animals, but I don't like the farming life was something that I was kind of like embarrassed of sharing, I guess. Um, like I wouldn't tell people that like I managed a little exotic farm thing
Uh-huh.
usually.
Did you see yourself as having freedom issues? Like a lot of your conflicts were wanting freedom when you were growing up, or no?
Yes, actually, yeah, for sure. Just because um my parents are very chaotic in the sense that they will like say you can do something and then say you can't do it. Or they'll say, yeah, we're gonna do this thing and then change their mind at the last minute. Or tell you
Hmm.
you won't be able to do something and then at the last minute you can do it. So like planning wise.
Unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah, so planning, they're terrible at planning and you have to catch them at the right moment when they'll just randomly give you money. So you can't like try to plan out an event in advance. You just have to kind of like do it in the moment and
Right.
like hope that you like played your cards right. Uh and there was a lot of different like things that I like tried to do that like no matter how I tried to like figure out a way to do it, like didn't happen. And so it was just like I thought that I was an extrovert because I just was constantly wanting to be around other people, but it's really just the fact that like being in my home is like being in a zoo.
Right.
So I'm the oldest of 8 kids.
Oh wow, that's also chaotic.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we had like, so many different like random pet animals and stuff in our house too. And
Wow.
so it's just, and we had like one and then both of my grandmas living with us at one point. At one point, our whole family and a foreign exchange student and like 3 dogs and birds and cats and everything were living in like a 900 square foot house. Just like 13 people or
So
10, 11 people.
so what would you do to get away from the chaos? What would you do to feel like you had the control?
I read a lot. I read a
Okay.
lot as a kid. And I also researched. So like I would get like stuck on this one thing and I would just like research it and research it and research it, but like nothing would ever come out of it.
Mhm.
So like I really wanted to do theater in high school. And I couldn't do theater in like I they didn't want me to they didn't want me to go to the public school. Yeah, there's just so much with my family. It's like wow. Um, so
This
I
is
remember.
Charles. He's gonna try to type you at the same time, it looks like.
Oh, hi Charles. This is gonna be
Yeah.
fun. Okay. Um, yeah, I like just different. When I was like 15, I really wanted a horse. I remember I spent like 6 months just like researching horses for sale and like horses,
Going
and
over
that's
the
like
known information.
all I.
Right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But I guess like doing that, you would get to know a subject really well. Like you'd be very
Yes.
knowledgeable
Mhm.
on things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm full of like lots of random facts. I mean, they're not random. Like I I do really good in like situations where it's like a conversation is going on and then I kind of like butt in and I'm like, "So did you know you can actually do this thing and then you can do this thing and then this thing
Hmm.
and it actually works really well." And everyone's always like, "Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's really okay." And I'm like, "There you go." Um but yeah, like so like the immediate like memory like is not there whatsoever. So like I will put something down and then
Right.
like 30 seconds later I'm like, holy crap, where did I place this? And then I'm like looking around freaking out. Like I cannot find where I put my phone or my keys or my headphones. My headphones are white and my bedspread is white. And if I stick them on my bedspread, I can't find them.
Right.
Like I'm like searching around freaking out. Um
Um,
go away.
t I'm wondering how you maybe organize the sensory. Do you organize objects? Do you like to know where things are? Do you like to, or do you feel compulsive that you need to tidy your surroundings?
I don't. No,
Okay.
that's the weird thing. I don't like I have absolutely zero need to like organize things beyond just like the most basic functional. I kind of like I don't really plan out where I'm going to put things. I just kind of put them somewhere and then as long as it keeps working for it to be there, I just keep doing it. However, I am realizing that a lot of the time I think that I'm
Functional
continuing
organization.
I think that I'm continuing to do the same thing because it's what works best, and really it's
Right.
just because that's what I know. Like, there's
Right.
actually a better way to do things. I just am choosing not to learn that better way because it requires taking in the new information. So I'm not like an interior designer person at
And
all.
as long as it works, you don't change it, right? If it's not
Yeah.
broken, don't fix it, sort of
Right.
motto.
But I
Okay.
mean, of course, a lot of times there is probably a better way to do it. I'm just doing the way that I kind of started off doing it, and we're still here
Right.
doing the same way.
Uh-huh.
So like, and yeah, like, but like the everyday like chore stuff, I hate doing chores. I will do anything to let people do cleaning and stuff for me. Like I will go around like offering to pay people to like clean my bathroom or like fold my laundry or
Interesting.
like all kinds of stupid stuff. Yeah, I hate doing that kind of stuff so much.
Okay, let's what about SI in terms of being in touch with your body and being in touch with
Nope,
the
absolutely
physical
not.
sensations? No?
Absolutely not. I thought that I was like a masculine sensory demon. And the reason is because when you don't have SE, you have nothing. Like, it's like you literally taking in like physical stuff is like I have to be like constantly like I have like zero hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
I,
like taking in the sensory, but I mean like being aware of the sensory or of your past sensory experiences or
so there's a difference between like facts
right.
and the world, the present moment, right? So like
Yeah.
facts are like stored memories of like sensory, I guess you could think of maybe as like a sensory situation, but it's like an actual like this is something that exists in the world and you learned it in the past and now it's stored in your brain, as compared to like in the moment being aware of the world around you. So like all of my like facts and like knowledge or whatever, like I like Austin typed me before I got my type, and like he thought I was an NI lead. He thought I
Oh,
was an
really?
INTJ. And it's because the SI, like the facts and whatever, is very like, it's not like present sensory stuff. It's like, I don't know.
What
It
about
feels
in
abstract, but it's really not. I mean, it's not
well, no,
abstract. It's
I
stuff
know
that's
SI
legit.
is like I know SI is one of the hardest functions for people to understand. It's a very deep function that doesn't make much sense, especially to people who don't have it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, so maybe we can try to decode it a little bit, and
yeah,
especially since it's a feminine sensory.
yeah.
Yeah. What about like nostalgia and things like that? Do you get nostalgic? Similar smells, similar foods.
In a way, I'm not like, I don't like people who are like, like tradition, like, I don't know. I think part of my like frustration with the like ISTJ, sorry, with the like SI stereotypes, right? In like MBTI land or whatever, is the like just doing things because it's the way they've always been done.
Right.
I hate that idea as a concept because it seems it's like it's so like
But you like just admitted to you're just going to keep doing things because you
yeah,
don't know a
right.
better
So it's
way.
like,
Yeah.
it's like you're doing constantly what you hate that you're doing, right?
Right.
In a way. In a theoretical way, you think that the thing that you hate most is it's actually what you do the most.
Uh-huh.
So like tradition stuff, I just kind of am like, eh. But I do like, yeah, I get hit with deja vu a lot. Like I'll just be in a situation and Charles has a question for me. Let me finish this train of thought and then I will
Right.
answer your question, Charles. Um like I get hit with like, I'll just be in a situation and I'm like, this has happened before. I'm like, I've been in this spot doing this thing and it's like it hasn't happened before. It's probably just like bad NE, just like spasming. But it feels like I've been there before. Um, and I do, it's weird. So, like, visual obviously is very important to me. But, like, songs, I tie specifics, like, I, I like the way that I listen to music is I have like this music streaming app and like I find songs and I like just like them. And so I just have like this list of liked songs that's also kind of like a history of like my life, because I can go through the songs and like groupings of songs reflect different periods of my life, like that I like. So like when I listen to that music, I'm reminded of like that time in my life, and like just like that whole like time period.
Yeah, interesting. That is like, that's pretty classic nostalgia there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go back to
Yeah.
a song and to remember a
Yeah.
time in your life, or
Yeah.
a
And
taste or a smell.
right. And I probably also associate nostalgia stereotypically with FE too. So
Mm,
like the like, we're just doing this because this is what people like to do, and we just do what people like to do because they like to do it. So like I don't do that, but definitely the like in its most basic form, yeah, that kind of nostalgia.
Okay, let's talk about your FI a little bit, because we're starting to get short on time.
Yeah.
T- what kind of things do you value? What kind of things do you like?
This is people ask me this. I'm like, I don't know.
You don't know what you like.
I don't know what I like. No, not at all. I hate this question because it's like I can't, like I find things and they're like, oh, this is so cool and different and wow, amazing. Like I currently have 2 water bottles that I take everywhere because I love the reactions I get from them.
Mhm.
Because they're shaped like flasks, like glass flasks, but they're like rubber and plastic. And I take them places, and they're canteens. They're water bottles. They're supposed to be canteens, but they like everywhere I go. I just like the conversations that they spark because it's always funny. Like, yeah, it's just like it's a known novelty. It's known to me, but it's novel to other people, and so I like that. But yeah, like yeah, it's so hard to say. I'm very easily like I laugh very easily if like other people are like throwing emotions around. Like it doesn't take
Mhm.
a lot to make me laugh, and I can like make myself laugh. And
So
like
that's the feminine FI, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it yeah, it's so I cannot like I couldn't tell you what I like.
Hmm.
Like ever. Like I've never been able to know in
That's
my
really
life.
weird for a lead FI to not know what she likes. Um,
Right.
yeah.
I
Tell
because
me,
I can tell you why a thing is interesting. I can say like, "Oh, this shirt is cool because of the way that it like drapes on your body, and so when you look at it, it's like a different shape than the typical shape of something, and that's really interesting and neat, and it gives the viewer something to look at that is interesting and cool." But do I like this shirt? Like it's valuable? I don't know if it's better than another shirt. I just know that it's different than another shirt, and it is a certain way and this is a certain way, but which one's better? Like I don't know.
mhm. Let's go
It's
back
like
a little bit. We're breaking up a bit. I don't know if it's whose internet it is.
okay.
But
I'll try and that.
Charles asked, "Do you think about the long-term future, and do you think
Oh,
about the best path forward?" I guess maybe he might have missed the beginning,
y-
but
yeah. Yeah, that's right. I saw his question. I do think about the long-term future, but I do probably think about it in a very like um like a cautious way. Like I'm always afraid to like plan too far in advance and then have all my planning go to waste. So so like something that I thought I did that I thought was NI that I don't think is like I'll be running conversations in my head or like things that I'm going to be saying to somebody in the future, but the way that I run it in my head, it's like it happened in the past and I'm listening to it. And actually I can't do that too much because if I really like focus that like in my head like of that what I'm doing, then in the moment the thing that like the situation for which I thought out this whole thing that I could say, this whole potential conversation that happened between me and another person, and then I'm in the situation with that person and I can't remember everything it is like that I thought out that was so nice and great, and then I'm like I'm almost worse than trying to remember what I had like thought, planned all out. It's like this is like a very SI is a very like you're just bringing up things that happened in the past. So like even like when I'm describing it based on like using past scenarios as opposed to like NI, which is like describing like future abstract, you know. So yeah, like thinking about the future, I do it, but not in a like I know what the future is gonna bring way. More in a like I'm kind of like trying to like test the future waters.
Mm-hmm. Um, do you see your FI in another way? Like, have you been able to see maybe the depth of your own personal values? What you
Oh no. Technical difficulties. Good times. Screen is loading. Oh man. Technology is great until it doesn't work. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm probably gonna drop again. I'm gonna jump to the internet on my phone.
That works.
It should be working better now. Yep, there we go.
Okay, yay.
So I think I caught most of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Charles that has an opinion here that he's thinking sounds like SE and I axis.
Yep, people think that,
Right.
but
And then the other thing is the FI. It doesn't really seem apparent. Like maybe you can tell us a little bit about your values. What kind of things are valuable to you? What kind of things are important to you?
yeah, this is such a hard when people ask me what do you like? It's like I'm just left floundering. Like I don't even know what to tell you what I like. And when I describe things, like I will say that like I like this or I like that. But it's not that like I guess it's just that I'm constantly looking for what is valuable.
Mhm.
And value is such a like fluid state for me.
Fluid. Okay.
So it's like it could change. Like it's valuable based on how it's perceived by other people and like so I do like
That
I'll
sounds
compare
FE.
what other people like, which seems FE, but it
It
is a
seems
little
like
bit
FE,
different.
yeah.
Um,
Because FI would be more interested in what's eternally valuable, I would think, like what's universally
yeah,
valuable.
I'm very staunchly like there are things that are absolutely right and true, and we're trying to find those things. And usually if someone asks me like, do you think this thing is absolutely true or wrong, then I could like expound upon like the thing that you gave me. But
Oh.
but just trying to like think up something just like off the top of my head that I like. I mean, I like animals. It sounds so stupid, like and childish. I like
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
no,
no. That's
I got nothing.
what you're saying is very consistent with TIFE axis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like so yeah, I don't know. It's
Um,
weird.
yeah. And then the other thing is, like you just said, I don't know. It's just a one-time thing, but just when you just said I don't know is like, anyways. Um, what about yourself above tribe? How do you see that?
Oh, I'm very selfish. Very much so. I don't do things for other people unless I absolutely have to. And when I do things, I do it because I want to be like, it's really bad. This is like the one area of my life I really want to like, because I really want to like be able to like make things work better for people and like figure out what's wrong and make it work. But like, I just don't, yeah, like I'm not motivated to go out and like and do stuff for you unless like I have a really good reason to
Hmm.
do it. Um
And if you were to do something for someone else, would you do something to help them, um, to help something work better for them, or would you do it more to make them happy?
to make something work. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with helping people understand things in a like in a
responsibility to
very
understand.
in a
Okay.
very like
You said I don't
factual
know
way.
earlier, like as if you're not responsible for knowing, and then responsibility to understand just now.
Yeah, so I want to give other people facts and then I want to see the understanding in them. So like I want to see that like moment of like the things clicking. Like I love that. Because it's like even
Oh,
if it can't click for me, I just know that all of these things line up perfectly so and I give it to you um and then it's like, "Oh, wow, that is exactly how it works." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. Those are the facts." And there you go. I can see that you understand it and can go from there. Um, even if I like can't go from there. So, so like so I hate like helping someone move. Like I hate like going and oh, like if it's something physical, like I hate doing physical things. Like let's all go and move so and so's furniture. Like my mom loves to move the furniture around in our house. In fact, every single time I go home, like every couple of weeks, months, the furniture is in a different spot. One of my siblings is in a different bedroom. Everything has like switched around. It's so frustrating. It just makes me want to like I'm like, stop moving things around. Like, stop moving the sensory. Just leave it where it is. It's fine. Let's not do that. Um, I hate that. But like sitting down and having like a philosophical conversation with somebody is very interesting to me. I do really like that a lot.
okay. What kind of philosophical conversation?
Any kind. It's like I can't generate it on my own. I can only
Right.
go off of what a conversation that's already happening. I can't start a conversation. I can only add to a conversation.
Hmm. Um, tell me, do people offend you easily? Do you get offended by other people?
No, I don't. I actually have this very unique way that I see people that I think I partially developed as a coping mechanism for growing up because my family didn't make sense so much and was so chaotic and like trying to figure out like why people do certain things because I could just fall into this like super depressing hole of just like not understanding why people are doing the things they do and why like they're being a certain way that's annoying or whatever. But what I do is I look at a person and I see the way that they're acting and I don't look at their actions and then immediately say, "Oh, well, that action is good and that action is bad and they should change it to be this way," because I don't have this idea in my head of how it should be. I just look at them and I see all the actions that they're doing and I see where those actions are coming from and I see like what I can see like their history in a way of like because I have all this past history I'm pulling from of like reasons that I know make a person a certain way. And so I see this person, they're acting a certain way, and I'm like, oh, well, they're acting this way because this and this and this happened in their life. Sometimes those are wrong. Sometimes I think that I know why a person is doing something and I don't. So, that, but but sometimes I am right. And at the very least, I don't like judge people for the way that they're acting, because I just, every time I'm like observing people doing the things that they're doing, I'm like, oh, well, they're probably doing it because it
Mhm.
because of their certain past. And so that like makes sense to me in a like, well, yes, of course that they're acting a certain way because it's like,
Tell me, are you, if someone were to call you stupid, is that offensive to you?
yeah,
It's
that
painful.
would make me feel really terrible.
Right.
Oh gosh, no. Yeah, when people like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Do you feel like other people are stupid sometimes?
Um, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you throw that word around loosely, or is it's a sensitive word for you?
Um, I call people idiots a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's a stupid thing to do. And that would have been a much better thing to do.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting type that you got. They put you as lead sleep as well. Do you see that?
For sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually, because see, before I was thinking I was like an NIFI or an NITI, and I was thinking I was the exact same animals as Dave. So I did get those right. I'm actually very
Right.
good at picking up people's animals. The guy that we just typed in the class, I did not, I got his decider functions right. I didn't get I got
Observer.
it wasn't exact. Yeah, I didn't get those right, but I did get all his animals right. So I'm very good at the animals. So I've kind of figured that I was a sleep blast play because I do have I'm definitely like an energy matcher. So like if you saw my interview with Kendrick, right? He's super blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing the haha thing." But
Yeah.
I predicted like everything that's happened in this interview. It's weird. Like as I go through life and things happen, I'm just like, "Ah, yes, of course they should happen because it's like all of the past puzzle pieces coming together so that right now in the moment, it's like, yes, this is how it should have been." Because you're very like I've watched your interviews and you're very like you're like a processor and you like think before you ask questions and you're just like very like, but is it like this? And so I knew I was like, I'm gonna be so much more toned down in this interview as compared to like past interviews because like you're being serious and analytical. And so I too am being serious and analytical and deeply
Okay.
thinking with a deep
Are
thinker
you?
person.
Right. Okay. Um, Charles asks, "Do you stupid zone people?"
Stupid zone people. No, because I don't think that the person themselves is stupid. Like I'm not judging them. It's just sometimes people do dumb things because of the past, just the way that they've been raised. I know that sounds really dumb, or even just like genetics. Like there's a whole bunch of reasons for why people do certain things. Like, a lot of like psychological disorders come about because people because of like past trauma and stuff, right? So we have all these things that are like disorders, but it's only a disorder from the like normal order, which is just what like happens most of the time and is what we're used to. Like what if like all of disorders were actually normal and normal people were disordered? Like we're only making up words and terms and definitions based on like averages. So it's like a word could work in one situation and might not work in another situation. Like so so it's like people don't like it's not that the person themselves is dumb. It's just like that was a dumb idea. Um but I can see why you would do that because you're this kind of a person and this is the kind of thing you do. And this is yeah, just like you're this kind of person. Like I just know what kind of person you are, and so of course that's the thing that you would do. That makes sense to me.
Do you see yourself as having that extroverted decider masculine? Like, are you pushy against people? Abrasive?
I it I don't like other people who are pushy with like so if it's a demon, you do it but it's awkward, right? So like it's like I don't want to have to like if I know something is right, then it's right. I usually can tell when I'm working with people who like have like masculine extroverted feeling, especially like really, because it just like I think I'm theorizing, it just like pushes my FI. So I'm just like, but what I really want to do is just tell them, no, that's stupid and dumb, and you should do it this way, and you're not, and that's really irritating, and it just is so much better if you do it this way. But like I don't want, but like I do that. But then like if someone was like, well, Cherie, actually you should have done it this way. And then I'm like, I did it wrong.
Yeah. So what you're, it sounds like you think you're talking about thinking here, but I think you're actually talking about SI, like the way to systematically perform a task.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's more an SI thing. Like you're dumb for doing it this way and not this way. You're like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
you're talking a lot about the right, like the way, the step-by-step process in getting something done. Right.
That's really good to pick up on that, because you know, when it's your savior, it's so like, I even said when I submitted my thing, I was like, I could see how I could be just about any savior, although SI would surprise me the most. Like, well, of course it would, Cherie, because that's your savior, right? So what you do, like what I do the most, it's like I'm not even aware of it. So, and that's, yes, I'm not really like, I'm not invested in either modality, because like ultimately it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter whether I don't push enough with my reasons or I push too much with my reasons. What I really need to be focusing on is, regardless of what it actually is, just doing the right amount, just helping people the right amount, which is enough, and being aggressive enough when I need to be, and being passive enough when I need to be. And it doesn't matter whether my natural inclination is to be one way or another. Really, I should just be trying to aim for the middle best route. So like, so sometimes it's like you get so caught up in trying to figure out like, well, what's my actual right type? What am I doing that's like actually so right and exactly? It was like, well, sometimes you can get so caught up in thinking what you're doing that's like actually like one way or the other, when really you should just be trying to aim for the way to do things that is the best way to do things. There you go. That's some good SIFI for you.
Yeah, preaching your saviors.
Yeah.
But there's another double deciding there when you finish the let's talk about that that TE or FE or whatever it is. It's supposed to be masculine. Is it
well, so they type me as double feminine.
Oh, double feminine.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so it's supposed to be, so it's feminine then.
Yeah. So when because I emailed Shan,
so your
back,
FI should be masculine,
right?
Is what they're saying.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I was going on the presumption that it was feminine the whole time, because you were talking about laughing and your feelings seem feminine.
Oh, I mean, I think they are. It's much easier to pick up on it if I'm talking with somebody else.
And your thinking does seem more masculine.
It's so easy to pick up on it in conversation, because like the other, like I just had this like moment of clarity the other day. I'm a barista, so I work in a coffee shop, and we have these adorable little cups. They're so cute. There's for the espresso, when people get like just a shot of espresso, because espresso is like you get all the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee, but it's just like in a little condensed amount of like liquid, right? So you can get all the caffeine just like one gluck. It's like the difference between like whiskey and beer. Like in one serving, you get the same amount of caffeine or alcohol.
For everyone who doesn't know what espresso is, it's very important.
Okay, you know what? You would be surprised how many people come into a coffee shop and don't know anything about coffee. They're like, they're like, I'm going on a diet right now, so I would like 10 pumps of caramel syrup and 5 pumps of vanilla syrup and extra whipped cream, but only 1 shot of espresso. And can you use heavy whipping cream? And I'm like, okay, so basically you just want ice cream that's been heated up. Like, get out. You know nothing about coffee. Leave and never come back. No. So yes, some people don't know what espresso is, and you have to explain it. I've had to do this a lot. So yes,
All right.
so that's what
So
espresso
it's like
is.
whiskey to beer. That was your
Yeah.
analogy.
Yeah, it's my
Okay.
analogy that I give to people because you'd be amazed how dumb Americans are. And we
Okay.
have these adorable little cups that are so cute. And we had these two people come in, and I had just had three other guys get espressos. I love these guys. They come in and they get their espresso for here. So I can give their espresso to them in our adorable little for here cups instead of like putting 1 ounce of coffee in a 12-ounce cup. Like that's just wrong on so many levels. And so they brought their cups back, and the people are ordering, and I'm like, I turned to my coworker. I'm like, look how cute our cups are. I'm like, these cups are so adorable. They're so cute. And she's like, yeah, Cherie, they are. And then the people are like, yeah, those cups are really cute. I'm like, well, actually, if you know, the reason why we put espresso in these cups is because, and then I went into my analogy about espresso and the difference.
Right.
And the look on their faces, they were like, okay, like she completely changed from just like swooning over the little cups to explaining to us point blank, like, this is how it is. This is how it is. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if that's feminine FI and masculine TE, like the switch, because it's so I don't know.
Yeah. So the explaining about facts and how espresso is would be your SI, right?
Well, so yeah, so it's funny. So when you
Yeah.
blast, I'm doing TE by giving them SI. Yes.
Right.
So like every time I'm blasting and you're picking up on the SI, that's because SI is what I'm giving you through TE. That's why like I've theorized, like sometimes when you're mistyping people, right? Like when an ESFP actually blasts, when you finally get them to blast, they're giving you NI. It's their demon. So that's why it can be. So yeah, so the SI, but it
Yeah.
is TE. It's
So
working
then
for people.
that's the thing too. Like the way you're saying, oh, it's cute. Like I'm believing you that this is the way you act, right? Oh, the cups are so cute, right?
They are
So
cute.
that's like, right. So that seems like a feminine feeling,
Yeah, I
either
think so.
FE or FI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Tell me about contradictions. How do contradictions sit with you?
Contradictions. You have to give me an example. What you
Even
are
if it's,
imagining in your head.
even if it's just in a person that someone claims to be one way and he appears to be different, um, or can two things that are contradictory be true at the same time, or things like this?
Oh, yes. Well, contradictions are very interesting to me because I try to figure out why they're not actually a contradiction. Like if that like so people will be talking about how something is a contradiction. And then I will be thinking in my head, well, how do they actually work together so they're not a contradiction? Like which one is wrong so that it can be
Which one is
proper?
wrong?
So like you're thinking about something and the reason it's a contradiction is because you think both things are right. So just figure out which one is actually not right and then you won't have a contradiction. I don't think so I actually I go on tangents all the time about how like if you so this is like I don't this is a weird one, but this is probably gonna offend some people, but we're just gonna go for it. So like
FE.
for religion, right? So if you are just like one of my fellow classmates in college and you're just like, yeah, any religion is fine. Like I believe that like any religion can exist. Well, there's some religions that say that they're the only one that can exist. So you can't say that you believe in all religions because that one religion by itself is saying that all the others are false. So you can't believe that they're all true if one is saying that if it's true, then all the others are false. That doesn't work. So you
Right.
either need to change your belief and say that you only believe in the one that says that it's true, or believe that all are false. They're either all wrong, or the one that says that it's right and the others are wrong is right.
Yep. Yep. I don't know. People in the comments here are saying not TI, but like
It's not.
Lisa's,
Yeah.
it seems TI to me.
I don't does it
Yeah.
but
And
it
then there's the
also
whole thing about you not knowing what you like or what you value. Well, you
I knew you were gonna have
you are
trouble with
what you
this.
say you
I
are.
knew you
Yeah.
were gonna listen to me and be like, I don't know. She doesn't seem right. This type seems wrong. Let's do
Well,
a
yeah.
double blind test. No, it's okay. I do definitely think I have FI. and TE, because you have to watch somebody with FE talk, and then you can see the difference. The things that they push on aren't workful things. The things that they push on are FE things, which would be hard for you to know because you have FE, but it's at the bottom, and you only get to it when you blast. I don't know. Are you consume, play, blast?
That's what I've been typed, yeah.
Do you agree with that?
You're the one who's better at detecting animals, I guess. So you tell me.
You think you're missing sleep?
Not missing.
Or no, well, okay, if you were consume, play, blast, you'd be missing sleep. And you were typed as consume, play, blast. You could be. It's hard to tell in videos, I think. Some videos where people are just talking by themselves, because David Sham asked us to send us a video of us just talking about ourselves, which makes sense because there are very good reasons for why if you're being interviewed with somebody else, you act in a different way. But when they type celebrities, they type them in interviews when they're talking to somebody else. So that's why sometimes when you get a video of somebody and it's just them talking by themselves, some of those slight subtleties aren't picked up on properly. I do agree with that. Because if you're tracking demon savior states like they're talking about lately, sometimes those are more apparent in an interview. But it is hard, right? So they get a lot of people who are used to the MBTI community and already have these presuppositions in their head of what they are, right? And so they're kind of trying to conform to their idea of who they are instead of actually acting like who they are. Shane was saying that in my audios because she was like, in your videos, who you are is the person of your story. She's like, a lot of times we get people in their videos talking to us saying well, I'm doing this thing and all these things are happening to me. And it's like, well, yeah, you're not acting the way, you are actually not acting the way that you think you are and describing yourself that you have acted in the past. So I could see how maybe you could be missing blast instead of sleep. So if you are a person missing blast, it's going to be very hard to pick up on the difference between FE and TE blast. It's very hard for me to pick up on the differences in the types of consumes because I'm missing consume. So SE consume versus NE consume, those differences are hard for me. It's hard to see that difference. That's the one I get tripped up on the most.
We're low on time.
Yeah, I know. I've just been blabbing.
Yeah. Tell me, do you have anything you want to promote or any message you want to give about your type?
Oh, I don't know. If I am an FM, I am the same type as Martha Stewart. So don't know what that means, but I hope that I too can be someday a billionaire woman like her.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't fully. Yeah, like I said, I do much better when people are like, just give me something. I'm like, I don't know. But when people are talking about something, and then I can just kind of add more to that. It's a very anything, I think, probably. Yeah, it's pretty late where you are. It's midnight, right?
It's 11 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm just concerned more for the viewers to keep it short. It's not to force people to watch too much of a. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. If they're demon consumed like me, they'll just skip to the 20-minute mark and watch 5 minutes there, and then watch the last 10 minutes. Don't do that, people. It's terrible. You actually want to type someone, you need to watch them for more than an amount of time that is the amount of time I watch people, because that's clearly not enough time.
Right. But so anyways, you agree with how you were typed? You see it in yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except for maybe the masculine feeling.
Yeah. Or you mean masculine FI? Yeah, that's what you mean. You just said feelings. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. I've been trying to compare myself watching videos of other people who are FM. I don't have a lot of good examples. Martha Stewart is 70. The one lady who's my type twin, she's an actress. I watched some videos of her. She didn't seem quite as I don't know. I felt like we had a slight difference. I found there's one actress lady who's the same as me, or she would be the same as me in FM, except she's missing play instead of consume. So being an info dom, so she in her interviews is not as she's more like how I was in this interview, but even then less so. I mean, yeah, I'm not super doesn't matter that much. But so yeah. But
Okay.
it would, I mean, but yeah. So like,
Cool.
anything to say about my type? I don't know. I feel like
Anyway,
I'm cool.
yeah. If you say it, then you must be.
That's right.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Cherie. I guess that's it. And
Yeah.
see you around, I guess. Maybe we'll do a double interview at some point. Have a good one.